What up, guys, and welcome to the coffee shop. It's been a while since I put up a video or a little, idea here on TradingView. Let me hang on. Let me just make sure my volume is right on my microphone. Hold up here. There we go. Get a little more boost right there. How about that? So that sounds a little bit better. Anyway, so a lot of people like using the ADX as a momentum indicator, as well as there's ways to use it in certain strategies to um, keep you out of choppy areas. But if I put the average, like the regular ADX, let me see if I actually have one here on my chart. I don't have one. I have a bunch of indicators that I'm working on. Let's see. Let's just put up the ADX, right? ADX. There's one that's the ADX and the DI. All right. We'll just not to diminish anybody else's work, but I'm going to put this on the chart, and I just want you to take a look at this. Right. So you have this on your chart. Okay. And to me, this is just a big spaghetti mess. It's a huge mess. I can't really correlate this to anything that is constructive. Right. Also, in this, you set some value as a 30 level or a 20 level, and it's an alleged level. I don't really believe that that level really means anything, right? Um, it's something that we're told to use. When the ADX gets above that level, you're supposed to start looking at the momentum, the entry for the trade that you're looking at, right? Okay, so I set it to 20, let's say, right? Let me put the 30 right here. Okay, so now my ADX line is, I think this orange one right here, right? So my ADX is at this point, it is above the 30, right? But my red line is above my green line. So I should be looking for a short. Great. I should be looking for a short, but market is just kind of upside down. Well, my moving averages are right side up. And so already it sounds like I'm confused, right? Because there's not much confluence here. So, and I want to use it with other indicators. That's why I'm using it along with this moving average that I set up. But this is just a mess. It's just really, there's just too much going on here, right? And there's just a whole lot to look at. So I don't like using this type of an ADX. So what I've done is I've begun working on another type of ADX that uses not the ADX and the DI, but it's using the ADX, volume of the ADX, and pressure of the ADX. Okay. So these things all contribute to each other. First, you have pressure. You either have positive pressure or negative pressure, right? This comes with volume. Okay. If there's ever a divergence between the pressure and the volume rising, right? If the pressure is rising, the volume should be rising. If it's not, then you have a divergence and it's actually a fake out. So, for example, here, so this is the ADX pressure line, this green line, right? When it's green, you have pressure building. Okay, that's what that means. You have pressure building. It doesn't mean it's going long or short. It just means that pressure is building. Okay. Now, you can see that it changes to green here and it stays green this whole time. It stays green even when the ADX is falling. Okay. So pressure is building. And at this point, these purple bars, the ADX volume is also rising. But at this point, since you are like your ADX is below pressure, like this yellow line is the ADX, right? ADX is the yellow line. The pressure is the green line. The green line changes from red to green. Okay. You only want to do things when the line is green. Okay. The ADX tells you like where it is. Is it rising or falling? You obviously don't want to do anything when it's falling. And this volume here, it's not actual volume, it is volume of the ADX, and it comes in two colors. It lets you know when volume is rising, and lets you know when volume is falling, right? So here, for example, the ADX is rising at this point. The ADX is also rising where? Here, it's rising here, okay? And at this point, the ADX value is what? It's 20 something, jumps to 20.95. So it's in a pretty decent area. Like it's where it should be, right? But I mean, even way over here, it's rising, but there isn't enough volume or pressure going on. There's pressure, but there isn't enough of the right kind of volume going on. So you need all three of these things to take place. Okay. So just by looking at this chart very quickly, you could see how often the market actually does range and how the gas pedal essentially is being stepped on so that the market can get its push. I'm looking at a 1 hour chart. I should see a lot of instances here, but what we're actually seeing is the market gets its push here, right? It's being pushed. right? And again, here it gets its push. All of this, however, there's no push here. There's nothing happening here. This is just momentum carrying things along. And of course, price needs to come up, grab its liquidity, and start falling down again. And even here, there's this little push that takes place here, but you need to know what is the push, right? So I'm pointing up here, but I'm looking down at the indicator. So you see you get a voluminous push here. But if you look at the line, right, the pressure line is red. This is an obvious divergence between the ADX volume and the pressure that's taking place, okay? Volume is rising, but the pressure is not rising. The pressure is the red line, volume is these purple bars. So when you get uh, positive pressure, right, you should have a green line. If you don't have them in confluence with each other, then you do not have what you need. So I think this is a little bit easier to use than the other ADX indicator, right? Because at that point, like you could see, you get positive pressure here. All right, let me just go to the candle. We'll go to the next one right there, right? You see, you get positive pressure here, okay? All you need to know is, am I in an uptrend? Am I in a downtrend? Am I above moving averages? Am I below moving averages? Am I above or below support and resistance? Where am I? Like, what's going on here, right? Am I up above or below a trend line and things like that? That's pretty much what you would need to know. Okay, if I draw out a quick little support and resistance, just a brief one right here. Let's go right here. All right, so we get obvious support right here. Let's draw to the top. You get like a nice little close right there. There's a rejection. Let's just draw this out. There you go. So you see at this point, and I'm sure it's changed a little bit. I drew it based on something here. I'm sure it changes a little bit as it gets right here, right? Um, so you can see that you get this nice push starting right here, roughly. You don't get positive pressure till you get right there, which is this candle. Okay. Then you get pressure. So that would bring you down to the bottom of your support and resistance zone. Okay. And then once you get to that zone, nothing happens, right? Nothing happens. This is just momentum carrying things down. And then all the way down here, right here, you get another push. Okay. So there must be a liquidity grab or something right here. Even though it's a bullish candle, this bullish candle, you're still below your moving averages. You have the push that you need to carry you down further. I'm just curious. I want to see what's right here. I'm going to draw this horizontal line. Let's take a look back here. There you go. See, big candles moving up and they got stopped out. Pushed down, big candle pushed up, stopped again. So again, you need to have your support and resistance levels drawn out on your chart, or you're not really going to know like which way you should be going. Use your moving averages, use your trend lines, stuff like that, right? So this indicator, this ADX type indicator, is something that I'm working on, and I will be releasing it to my community members. And I'm hoping that it's just a lot easier for you guys to follow because, like, again, I'm in a downtrend. Do I get back into this trade? I get pushed right here on a bullet.